I don't know if you can read that. Check camera. I get so fed up with angling my camera down to the palette and forgetting to go back to the support, being the piece of paper I'm going to work on, or a piece of hardboard or something. So what I'm going to do now is to go back to a knife painting again, but I'm going to use oil paints. These are all, with the exception of this white here, which is half student quality Winton, mixed with a bit of alkyd resin titanium white, which is artist quality. That's the only artist quality I've got here. The rest are cadmium red, ultramarine, burnt sienna. The Winsor & Newton range of burnt siennas are in colour, for me, are superior to anything else I've used. The watercolour Winsor & Newton are, well, the Cotman are dark. They're sort of a dark red, beautiful colour. Beautiful, mixes with ultramarine to get rich darks. You can add yellow to it to get muted greens. Fantastic, fantastic colour. Burnt umber, black, this viridian, that's quite a dark viridian. That's a Reeves, I think Reeves is long gone. But I've got loads and loads of tubes of various qualities, and I've collected over many years when I used to do oil painting. The reason I don't do oil painting is that I don't like the solvents, the brush cleaners and stuff. It doesn't agree with me. Cadmium yellow, yellow ochre, that's just a bit of burnt umber, acrylic that I just use to just outline a design idea for a knife painting. I'll just show you a painting I've just had on my wall for a long time. It was based on an Edward Seago Norfolk landscape, North Norfolk. I love Seago, but not my favourite artist. My favourite artist, I think, going back over many years, is Catherine Williams, Sir Catherine Williams, a great Welsh artist who died not that long ago, very oldly, in his 90s. Left a very large sum of money, but he deserved it. He was fantastic. He was the knife painter for me, certainly in British art, ever. But he used a lot of drab colours, and I love drab. I love muted colours, but he did portraits as well. It's mostly landscape, mostly painting the Welsh hills, Welsh mountains, Anglesey where he lived. But he painted local scenes, local farmers, but he used a knife. He used his knives, but he did confess that he used brushes just to do the bright bits around the eyes. But an incredible craftsman. Look him up on Google. His gallery is there, and there are hundreds of his paintings. And for me, they are just, well, they make my mouth drool. There are other artists that do that. And I've just discovered a new guy on YouTube, but he's been around a long time, I'm sure. He's a very competent impressionist watercolourist called Tony White. Check him out. If I think of it, I'll put a link to his YouTube channel. But Tony White watercolours, a very refreshing impressionist painter who likes rough too, same as I do. Okay, so that Seago painting, Norfolk, have been all over that coast, the north and northeast coast of Norfolk, over many years. But this is quite a muted one. He used a lot of ceruleum in his one. It's not copied brush for brush. It's just like his take on a pretty normal view that we've all seen if we're English painters and have been to Norfolk. I love painting. I've done it several times, but it's just my version of it. I learnt a lot from that, but that's a brush painting and that is oil. Okay, enough for me. Right, check camera. Checked camera, put it up, and there we are. As usual, I'm going to paint down to the landscape. It's about half and half. It shouldn't be really, but Brilliant. So I'm going to put a bit of a lake in there and a nice light landscape here and some slabby stuff here. Maybe a little, because I did have a small, yeah, I have got it. Got a small knife. Sorry about my. I might do a cottage, but I've got a small. This is only a piece of 12 by 8, cheap paper, watercolour paper. I've got this small. Well, these are the ones I'll use, but that's my favourite one. This one here. I've got bigger ones for if I'm working large, but these little trowels, these are good quality. Don't buy cheap chromium plated things, buy the stainless steel. They're just lovely. Okay, so where shall we start? Put in that background here, so bit of blue, bit of red. And clean your knife before you go anywhere near the white. Okay, so just mix a bit of white with that. The alkyd resin helps everything to dry. Winsor & Newton do a great range of alkyd resin called Griffin. Lovely paints, but they are artist quality. But they have the alkyd resin in them. That's a bit of white in there. Don't want a pure flat colour. Now I've just told you not to do what I've just done. But I think oil paint feels a lot nicer than thinner acrylic. You can model this sort of stuff and it doesn't dry very quickly, other than the alkyd one, but then we're talking a day or so here for the alkyd resin to dry. But with the artist quality, although it'll soak into the paper, I haven't primed the paper with acrylic or anything like that. Let's just get a bit of snow or something on there. Right, you need plenty of paper for this. I'm not using rag, so I end up using my watercolour rags. Okay, so nice bit of dark mountain, so we use a bit of the sienna and a bit of blue, so we'll have a dark bit of mountain here, just just mostly blue, but I'm not. Well, it's a contrast with that light. A bit of ochre in there, I think. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Look at that. Oh, this is so therapeutic. I wouldn't say relaxing or anything as subtle as that, but just merge your edges. Don't be too concerned about getting straight edges, and don't worry about detail. Just get in the rich, wonderful colours, even straight out the tube. Very, very. Oh, I'm excited now. Right, bit of blue, and got this nice. So if we can have the light coming from wherever we like. Look, just you're creating a piece of art, not an exact copy of anything. Copying exactly is a very, very skillful thing, but it's not what I do. But I appreciate the work of those that do. Constable painted a lot of painting studies on watercolour paper. I'm tempted to just to put a nice bit of white in there. It's catching the snow catching up there. Let's have a bit of darker blue in there. Okay, just a little bit of variety in there. I'll just try a bit of yellow in with that. Have some light on that side. Now black, let's explore the colours. Now let's have a look at that. That is the cadmium yellow light mixed with black. Now you look at this. So come down to the footer, look at that lovely green. That is so muted. The black is the queen of colours. It is a wonderful. Can make it nice. I've got Viridian on here, so I don't know how I'm going to use that, work that in, but I will. Be prepared to throw quite a bit of paint away. Let's get some lighter green. Put a tree line here, but I just want to get some there's a bit of yellow ochre with this. Sorry I can't show you me doing this, but mixing the paints others. But we might do 2 of these with the remaining paint. But we might not. We've got company for lunch today. Old friends. A bit of darker stuff in here, coming down into that valley. So I'm putting quite a few planes in. I shouldn't have done that. That's my green. get a really good drab green. I'll mix a bit of burnt sienna in with it, just to get something on there. Right. Maybe we need a little bit of bluey green on there, on that back mountain. So let's mix it up and mix a bit of yellow, bit of white with it. That's better. Okay, right, we're going all right here. So we'll just come finish this here. Put a light in there, I think, because I'm going to put in some trees in there. So that's going to be my black, my cad yellow light, and some burnt sienna. Haven't used the umber. I might not even get there. Oh, there's my light going there. Let's try this burnt sienna and blue. So that makes a gorgeous green, very dark. Oops, I've got to clean that out before I go in with the water. Now I just want you to be aware of the fact that this view does not exist anywhere. It's purely made up as I go along. Lovely and thick, juicy paint. Don't want any sort of those sparkly bits showing, like we're doing watercolour. Well, not too many of them anyway. Okay. You get some very dirty fingers, very painterly fingers. Let's just get a bit of one of these a bit higher than the rest, otherwise they all look the same. Okay, so now we'll put it up. I'm going to do the sky now, then I'll get an idea of what colour I'm going to do this lake here. bear in mind that if you have reflections in a lake, it's because it's still water. But if it's wind ruffled, it'll just be a version of the sky with ripples. It'll be light. It won't reflect much of the landscape behind. It will be broken water reflecting the sky more or less. But you have to study that. Right, now we're going to put in some nice greeny trees in there. So let's try this viridian. Viridian, cadmium yellow, raw sienna, burnt sienna, sorry. I haven't decided on the light source yet. I don't really like that, having knocked it up. No, I don't think I like that. I'll show you it, and then I'll break my rule. But I'm knocking these greens up here, but I don't like that. I wanted to. You've got to go for the counter change, light against dark, but not so dark. I want it a warm dark. So I'm going to use my burnt sienna with the ultramarine, and I'm going to mix it with a bit of yellow, and then we get a nice rich green that will be different to that green here. So let's. I can put in some lighter spots on this, but let's just get it on. So this is just cadmium yellow light, ultramarine and a bit of burnt sienna. Oh, I was going to do the sky first, wasn't I? Well, let's just put in a bit of that colour I just knocked up. Yeah, I really want to get that in after the sky. So, more paper. I think I'll get one tomorrow. There's a cheap shop up the road from me, so that sells great big rolls of this paper for a couple of pounds. Right, okay, so what sort of sky? Well, a Welsh sky, won't be blue, bit of umber, load of white, bit of burnt sienna, yellow ochre. So let's just get some of this in here. Just fill the holes in the paper. Makes my wrist hurt though, that's the downside to this. I'll put this on YouTube, but I've got quite a few paintings on Patreon now. Go and have a look at and see what it's all about. Because I'm doing more on Patreon now than I am on YouTube. It's just blocking in the sky. and I will try and soften the edges of all this in a minute. Just soften. Bring the sky into the landscape and the landscape into the sky. Ah. Right, I'm going to put some white in there now, pure white. Just coming over the hill, the little clouds. Ah, I hope that shows, because I've got quite a light background. I'm going to leave that. Perhaps a bigger one up here. Right, there we go for a minute. Now we can get in that sort of colour in the landscape here. Go to put your knife in one place and it ends up in another. Maybe we could try a bit of that. Well, I don't look too bad. Bit of ochre in there, I think. Right, we'll come down with a bit of landscape there. We'll have Viridian mixes very well with ochre. Vary the greens, the intensity of them, lighter, darker. So the Viridian is coming in handy. Right, lighter greens. So a bit of showing a bit of that Viridian. A little drab. This bit's coming into the light. I might put little bushes in on the edge of that lake there. Right, a bit more of that umber. To be anxious to get the tube off the burnt umber, and I haven't used it. But that's okay, that's the nature of painting. You don't always use what you put out, but don't be stingy. Need some lighter colour in that background, I think. Right, let's put a bit of that muted green in here. what will help this painting dry is the paper. It's not primed. Okay, so that's just a little bit of red just to complement. Okay, well, can't see too much wrong with that. A bit more warm in there. Just some warm that. Right, okay. That's about it. Another artist I love looking at is Jackie Gardner. She's a Scottish artist from Arbroath. A marvellous abstract painter. Does some glorious landscapes. Right, I'm just going to pull some of this off here. Careful how you do that. Put it down, just in case it grabs the paper underneath and pulls it. A chunk off it, it's better to pull it down rather than into the painting. Okay, so there we are. We've got quite a bit going on in there. Let's put it in a mount. To make sure my fingers aren't too oily, and that is a bit too small, that one, isn't it? Let's have a look, see if we've got a slightly bigger one, but if not, it's I won't bother. I'll just take that tape off there, and I'll leave a little bit. Oh no, I won't. You've got your margin, so that's as good as the frame, isn't it? So I hope you enjoyed that. Let's bring you round. So there we are. We've got a Welsh scene from the Welsh Hills. Doesn't really exist, but it's inspired by Catherine Williams. I think I've got just a little bit too many sparkles where I've not covered the paper, but I'm not going to fiddle around with it. I quite like it. I'm going to just put another bit of red here and there. Just a bit of Turner. Just a little bit of red. It doesn't mean anything other than it complements all those greens. It could be anything. So there we are. See you soon. Bye bye.